What if we've been wrong about life this whole time? What if life isn't something we're living, but something we're borrowing? What if every heartbeat is a countdown we didn't choose, and the only reason we pretend we have time is because the truth would break us? What if death isn't the thief we fear, but the ride home we forgot we booked? What if the universe creates life just to watch it fade because fading teaches us value? Because nothing permanent can ever be appreciated? What if every dream, every failure, every moment you thought you were breaking was never punishment, but preparation? What if nothing we build lasts forever? Because the point was never to keep anything, only to feel it before it slips away. What if when we die, the world doesn't lose us? We simply lose the illusion that any of this was ever permanent. What if death isn't silence, but the first forgotten sound we knew before we entered this body? What if the darkness we fear isn't darkness at all, but memory? What if we don't fear death? We only fear the possibility that our lives might not have meant enough. What if death is the moment the soul finally remembers its real name? The name we had before we were human? What if consciousness doesn't disappear? It gets collected, carried somewhere the universe has been saving for us. What if life is just a breath and death is the sigh that completes the exhale? What if death isn't a falling, but a blooming we can't see from this side? What if endings exist so beginnings can breathe? What if the spirit becomes lighter the moment the body becomes still? What if death is simply walking back to the beginning of the circle? What if its beauty lies in reuniting everything life separated? What if the soul isn't afraid? It's just remembering the way home. What if the dead don't sleep? What if they are the ones who finally open their eyes? What if death is a doorway and someone gentle has always been waiting on the other side? What if life shines bright because it's short? What if the final chapter isn't scary, just unread? What if the real fear isn't dying? It's living without ever truly being alive. What if silence becomes perfect the moment life ends? What if the universe gives us souls just to call them back when their lesson is complete? What if without death, we would never appreciate a single breath of life? What if the darkness after life is simply the world closing its eyes? What if death isn't a full stop, just the next sentence? Maybe all of this, every fear, every breath, every person we lose, every love, every heartbreak, every beginning and every ending, is part of the same quiet truth. Life only matters because it ends. Death isn't the opposite of life. It's the force that shapes it. Death gives life urgency. Death gives life meaning. Death gives life beauty. And maybe, just maybe, death isn't the end at all, but the moment everything finally makes sense.